and welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. Fighting bullying in Ukrainian schools is a pressing matter in the country. To help tackle the problem, a series of videos aimed at teaching teenagers to counter cyberbullying has been presented in Kyiv. The videos are filmed on real-life stories. To talk more about this initiative, we welcome to our studio today Ksenya Shimanska. She's the Director of Human Rights Department at the Docudays UA. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So let's talk about the initiative with videos based on real-life stories.
We had few initiatives which are based on true life stories. It's first of all Doku Weekend, which was in schools. At least 300 schools taking part in this initiative, and it was very interesting for those who was taking part, because it was like you was attending cinema and then you have discussions about what you have seen. And it was a film Buller, which the famous film director from USA was presented. It was Lee Hirsch, and he came from USA to present his film in Lviv, in Odessa, in Kyiv, and it was amazing because he told his own story about how he was bullied in school, and it was a terrible situation, and he want to fight against his buller, but he don't know how to do it, and now he is preparing his movie to help others to prevent this situation, and to know how to be strong in this situation, and know how to manage this situation, to be protected, and to understand where is the measures of this situation and who can protect you. And during these discussions with students and with adults who was also attending these discussions, people changed their minds, because some children before were bullers in school, but then they saw and understand that they are doing terrible things, and they are even tell Ligirs that they had terrible experience and they doing terrible things, but now they will stop to do this. And it was...
In general, how do you think, how important, how hard is the problem of bullying is in Ukrainian schools right now? Because in the US, this issue has been discussed and resolved long ago. In Ukraine, we're just starting to talk about it. We're not even taking steps to solve the problem. We're just starting to actually say this out loud. So how big is the problem?
Unfortunately, only 17% of teenagers hadn't faced the problem cyberbullying, and that's the huge amount of teenagers who are linked to this problem. They are or victims or even witness of this situation. So that's terrible statistics about bullying. I can say you that the statistics is worse, because about 70% of teenagers were bullied, and it's like everyone who is teenager now was involved in this situation with bullying, or he was.
Cyberbullying is, if I get it right, cyberbullying is being bullied online.
Yes.
Right? Logically, everyone who has access to the internet. I mean, I think that even I could be bullied, because there are a lot of people who could text not appropriate things that are not pleasant. Now, the main question is how to deal with that, because adults who are psychologically formed already, they could be like, okay, right, I don't need this information in my life, and walk away. teenagers are more perceptible. Could you give a little piece of advice on how teenagers should react the right way in order not to get really frustrated and upset? And also a piece of advice for the parents of teenagers. Because usually teenagers do not tell parents they are being bullied. So maybe parents could take a look and see little hints that they should pay attention to.
Yes. First of all, parents should talk to their children, because now we have situation when parents need to work hard and they have not many time to ask children how was your day, what is in school. So we kindly asking parents to ask how are you, just, and if you see that your child is upset, you need to ask. If it is something which is connected with online, with chatting or with something, of course you need to check this information. Is it information contains some private information? In this situation we need to be very attentive, because teenagers usually put this private information in their messages and send to people who they are in love now, but what will go in next day or next week, it is hard to say. That's why children and parents need to be sure that all private information which shouldn't be shared in internet should be closed, and all private videos or photo we should not share, even if we are trust with the whole heart this person, because this information, this photo, video or something which you are sharing now could be used against you, and that's very which could be connected with very serious problems. Even children could think about suicide. So I'm not asking to worry about this problem, but I'm asking to ask daughter or son, yeah, what is going on? What is in your life? Maybe you have questions to me. Maybe you can explain me how to use my gadget. Maybe children, I'm sure that children are aware of all new software which could protect our gadgets and our emails, our Facebook pages, and they are using much more properly and easy than I'm doing it. Yes. So I'm trust teenagers, but I'm not trust to those people who are connecting with this with teenagers and with different thoughts. So,
like you said, the consequences of cyberbullying could be as harsh as the suicide among teenagers, and we all know that there have been groups created online that slowly push teenagers to suicide. There have been some fatal cases. Now, clearly, such a behavior, even though it's behind an avatar online, it is the offense of the law. What kind of responsibility should be for cyberbullies, and how do we find those? How do we detect those people offending others from behind the screen?
Unfortunately, in Ukraine, we have no law which will describe the situation of cyberbullying, and we have only from the January this year we have law which describes us what is bullying. So that's not enough. We are preparing recommendations for our government to change this situation, because we need to be sure that we can protect our children. Now police is trying to investigate this situation, but they have like handcrafts. They have only bullying in law. That's why they have to follow this law, and then they all the situations which are connected with cyberbullying, they are looking like on a situation if this situation contains bullying, okay. If it contains that, we can investigate this situation as a bullying.
According to the law.
Yeah, according to the law. But if this situation contains only cyberbullying, that's the question: how to deal with this situation. Because
what does the law say about those who break it and resort to bullying, to regular bullying, let's say in schools?
Those who are bullying can pay some money.
Those are teenagers, they're not...
Or parents, or
that's what I was wondering.
Do
parents bear responsibility for their teenage children's actions?
There is some age, from 16, the girl or boy can pay for himself. And if he is or she is, according to the law, court makes decision that this person is really bullier.
Do you think that fine is enough? Fining with money is enough, or should there be, let's say, criminal responsibility?
Well, I'm against
probation.
I'm against criminalization this problem, because we are making a huge problem when we are criminalized such a problem. We need to do more on the first step, when we are preventing this situation. We don't need to make more and more criminals, because these people usually do not understand that they are doing something bad. And they are, during these discussions which we had in schools, children like opened their eyes and told us, wow, I'm doing this before, wow, and I'm doing very bad things.
I didn't know.
And they,
harm.
yeah, yes, and I will stop. I promise you. So this situation should be correct in another way, not by criminalization, the cyberbullying, but just we need to do more for preventing this problem. We need.
Well, clearly the issue still needs to be worked on, and worked on a lot. Anyway. The good thing is that we're already talking about it. We started to talk about it, we made it public, and this is the start. Thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you.
That was Ksenya Shimanska. She's the Director of Human Rights Department at the Docudays UA. Thank you so much for watching Head to Head. My name is Antonina Antosha. Stay tuned with UATV.